Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's mykenyanpuff, and today I'm going to be talking about the so-called bad ingredients in natural hair products. Now I'm doing this video because I realize that many people are avoiding ingredients and they don't have a reason why. They're just following the trends that they're seeing all over. So it's really important that you educate yourself and know why you're doing what you're doing. Don't just follow trends. Don't not use sulfates because I don't use sulfates. Find out why you're not using them in the first place. However, this video is going to give you an idea. My dogs are barking so much. This video is going to give you an idea, and I'm going to leave a lot of links to articles for further information in the description box for those who are interested to really know their stuff well. Remember that all this is one Google search away, so you have no excuse to be ignorant and to be uninformed. So we're going to start with sulfates. So sulfates are ingredients that are found in most household cleansing agents, detergents, such things. So it is not a surprise that it's going to be found in shampoos because they tend to get rid of oil, grease and buildup and really cleanse. So they serve the same purpose in shampoos. Now the issue that many naturalistas have with sulfates is the fact that our natural hair is coily or curly, so therefore oil, number one, takes a long time to build up on our strands, and more often than not it takes a long time to even get to our scalp. So we already struggle with having dry scalps and dry hair, so sulfates further dry out our hair. In comparison to our Caucasian and Asian counterparts whose hair is bone straight, so they tend to get grease buildup pretty fast and their hair gets oily, and that's another reason why they tend to wash their hair more often than we do. Now sulfates will just further dry out our hair, and that's why some companies decided to start manufacturing sulfate-free products. So that's really the main issue with sulfates, the stripping property. They have no negative health effects, so no need to worry about that. Now if you want to use a sulfate shampoo, then go ahead. Actually, that's one of the reasons why pre-poos are a thing, because they kind of coat your strands. Other than preventing hair growth fatigue, which I talked about in the pre-poo video that I'm going to link up, so please go check it out, they also tend to coat your hair and prevent that excess stripping that is usually due to the sulfates in our shampoos. Now if you choose to use sulfate-free products, then that's fine as well, but the thing with sulfate-free shampoos is they are not able to really get rid of all the big buildup depending on what kind of products you use. And that's why you'll see that more often than not, if you decide to go sulfate free, you go everything free. But if you choose to use sulfates, then that's well and good, as long as you have a proper treatment or deep conditioning session afterwards. If you choose to co-wash, I'm not a believer that you can co-wash exclusively, but if it works for you, then well and good. But I do believe that if you co-wash, it is necessary to incorporate a shampoo every now and then just to properly get rid of all the buildup. And I also would personally, I think that I will incorporate using a sulfate shampoo a little bit more often, maybe once every month, just to start on a clean slate. There are clarifying shampoos that are sulfate free, so you can opt for that. So all in all, am I against sulfates? No, I am not. I have low porosity hair and we tend to get build up fast, so I do think that sulfates can work to our advantage because we get to start on a clean slate instead of having gunk that's just built up. The second bad ingredient are silicones. Now silicones are ingredients that are commonly found in rinse out conditioners because they provide great slip for detangling and they tend to minimize frizz. Now the issue that people have with silicones is the fact that most of them, not all, most of them are not water soluble, and therefore they tend to cause buildup and kind of form a coating on your hair strands, which ends up weighing your hair down, and for those who have curlier hair, it will weigh your curls down. You won't have that much definition, so it ends up working to your disadvantage as opposed to making things a lot better. However, the slip factor is why many people tend to like silicones. Now, silicones are not just found in conditioners, but they are also found in heat protectants. This is because silicones, when combined with other elements, tend to be very resistant to high temperatures, and so they create that barrier between your hair cuticle and the heat, so they will prevent heat damage. At the same time, they will smooth your hair down, minimize frizz, and give a great shine, and that's exactly what you want when you've blown out your hair. So silicones have their role to play. They are not entirely bad ingredients. You just have to educate yourself on what you want to avoid and what you can handle. So basically, you just have to look out for particular silicones because some are not water soluble, and again, if you are not using sulfate shampoos, which tend to be able to really get rid of all the buildup, it's easier to go both sulfate free and silicone free, if you get what I'm saying. But if you choose to use sulfates and use silicones more frequently, then that works fine. If you use silicones frequently, then make sure to always follow up with a clarifying shampoo to truly get rid of that buildup. I will definitely link an article that goes into the soluble and the non-soluble silicones to look out for. The next ingredients are alcohols. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have seen it around, but you will see a gel that's alcohol free, or even skincare products that they make sure to write alcohol free, because alcohols tend to be drying. For those who remember their chemistry, they have a hydrocarbon end and then a hydroxyl end, and then depending on the type of alcohol, some of them, like the short chain alcohols, are the ones that tend to be known to make your hair dry and brittle because of how they really suck out the moisture. But fatty alcohols, is it cetyl alcohol? I will list them down in the description box, or give a link to an article that lists the good and the bad alcohols. But there are some good alcohols that are great for your hair, but there are those ones that you really want to avoid. So it's really all about educating yourself and just being aware. If you don't care too much about your hair being a bit drier than usual, then go ahead and use them. They have no adverse health effects, which is a plus. The next ingredients are mineral oil and petrolatum or petroleum, depending on what they're called in the products you use. Now, I have talked about them briefly in one of my Instagram reviews. For those who are not following me on Instagram, at mykenyanpuff, and I do mini product reviews when I'm not reviewing a whole line of products, and I mentioned that mineral oils are not entirely bad. Now, mineral oils are gotten from crude oil, and so the issue that many people have is, number one, they believe that in the purification and distillation process of the crude oil, that yes, there are some toxins and carcinogenic ingredients that may not be fully gotten rid of. So the mineral oils are able to form a protective barrier between your hair and the environment. Whether it's your combs or your fingers, they are really able to kind of minimize that force from external forces. And then also the thing is, because of that barrier, if your hair is well moisturized prior to using the product that contains mineral oil, then it prevents water coming in and water going out. Now, the issue is people need to know that mineral oil is not a moisturizer. Oils are not moisturizers. Therefore, if you use a product with mineral oil on dry hair, then that's going to be chaotic because your hair is going to remain dry. It won't allow moisture in, no moisture out. But if your hair is moisturized, then that is a plus, because the moisture that you've put in will definitely not go out. Another issue with mineral oils is they're kind of harder to wash off. That barrier that they create, because natural oils create a barrier too, Unfortunately, the mineral oil barrier is usually more long lasting, and so it's harder to get rid of. And once again, this is where clarifying shampoos or sulfate shampoos tend to come in. So if you're going sulfate free, go silicone free, go mineral oil free, just make your life easier. But if you choose to use mineral oil, because they are great sealants, that is a fact, then just make sure that you're cleansing your hair well. Co-washes will not cut it. They will not cut it if you've decided to use mineral oils. So you don't have to throw out your grease, just be educated that it is not a moisturizer, it is a sealant, and if you want to get rid of it properly, then you will need to clarify your hair really, really well. The last ingredient are parabens. Now, parabens are one of the most popularly used preservatives in the beauty industry because they are cheap, they are readily available, and they tend not to react badly with most people. So they are not that allergenic or sensitizing for most people. Now, many people have claimed that products that have parabens they've been linked to cancer or to malignant tumors, and that's why consumers have started to be scared of parabens. And so, you know, it's a consumer industry business, and so companies want to please their consumers, so they've started cutting out parabens and using alternative preservatives. So that's the reason why we avoid parabens in most products. Whether they are carcinogenic or not, I have not done my research enough to tell you, but if you want to find out, you go do your thing. But I can say better safe than sorry. It's actually the only ingredient that I've mentioned that seems to actually be linked with having any health effects. So with that one, I can say I'd rather steer clear of it. But that's just a quick summary going through some of the ingredients that tend to be kind of a plague, avoided like a plague in the natural hair community. I do hope I opened your eyes a little, and I hope I helped you, and that you will go and do your research, do a bit more reading so that you can be more aware of these things and know why you're doing what you're doing. I'm always insisting that this is a personal hair journey. Do it for you and know what you're doing, and I hope that you enjoy. And always, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me at mykenyanpuff or email me mykenyanpuff@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. Always remember that your hair is your crown. Embrace it, love it, and take care of it. God bless you all. Goodbye.
Me and you, tonight we're gonna celebrate our love.